This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, September 26th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. Angola-based Refreshed Tech, which refurbishes aged electronics for resale, celebrated its first year in business last month with $11.6 million in revenue. Founder and CEO Kyle Wainwright says the company's goal is not only to prolong the devices' lives, but also prevent e-waste.
The sustainability piece and the e-waste piece was really always in our heads of how can we prolong the life cycle of devices. We want to keep them out of landfills. And so we have a facility here in Northeast Indiana. We process about right around 300,000 units this year.
The company has more than 50 employees, and Wainwright plans to add another 20 by the end of the year. A decaying cotton mill, once on Indiana Landmark's most endangered list, is now the recipient of its restoration prize. After $22 million and a host of partners, Madison's Eagle Cotton Mill is now a Fairfield Inn & Suites with a conference center and the winner of Indiana Landmark's new Renaissance Award. The honor is bestowed on projects that revitalized long ignored and run-down historic properties. Chicago-based marketing and customer experience automation firm Active Campaign, which has a presence in Indianapolis, has selected Joy Winery as its first chief financial officer. Winery most recently served as CFO for Florida-based PlanSource. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Get ready, Northeast Indiana. We're headed your way. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the second annual Engage Northeast Indiana event, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Tuesday, October 10th at the Grand Wayne Center. We'll be diving into talent, education, and other issues shaping the regional economy. You can find more at ibj.com/engage.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita has filed a lawsuit against 3 people in Bartholomew County accused of scheming to defraud people seeking installations of manufactured homes. IIB's Kate Sharon has more.
The lawsuit alleges that Stephen, Joycel, and Aaron Singer, all residents of Columbus, engaged in the sale of manufactured homes without a license from the Indiana Secretary of State's office. Additionally, the 3 allegedly either promised to or completed the installation of manufactured homes without a manufactured home installer's license. The complaint specifically notes a case in which a consumer paid the defendants $36,000 to install a manufactured home and working appliances, but they reportedly failed to do so. They also allegedly failed to deliver a title for the home. The defendants reportedly received a cease and desist order from the Manufactured Home Installers License Board in 2014 and received a similar order from the Indiana Secretary of State this past February. Rokita's office accuses the defendants of 4 violations of the Deceptive Consumer Sales Act and is seeking fines of $5,000 per count. Additionally, the state is asking for restitution to be paid to the consumer and for the defendants to be prevented from installing manufactured homes in Indiana without a license, among other relief. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Elkhart-based Thor Industries is reporting fiscal full-year net income of $374 million, down from a record $1.1 billion the previous year. CEO Bob Martin said the drop was primarily due to changing market conditions caused by high interest rates and rising inflation, among other challenges. The recreational vehicle manufacturer said Monday net sales for the fiscal year dropped nearly 32% to $11 billion. The decrease is attributed to lower current dealer and consumer demand. Despite the drop, Martin said the company's operational performance in the second half of the fiscal year has provided a solid foundation heading into the next fiscal year. Tech entrepreneur Christian Anderson is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.